Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, for the opportunity to make my maiden speech on the burning issue of FDI in retail sector. Today it has engulfed the entire nation and put a question mark on the livelihood and survival of crores of people in the country. Before I make my submission on the subject, I thank my party leader, Sri N. Chandrababu Naidu Garu, who reposed a great faith in my nominating to the August House. I also thank my party leaders, members and supporters without whom I would not have the privilege of being part of this House. Aam Aadmi voted UPA headed by Congress to power hoping that it will improve their living conditions, to bring the fruits of development to them in the growth story of the country, that it would make growth more inclusive, and to eliminate and eradicate the existing barriers between Aam Aadmi and Amir Aadmi. But true to its colors, Congress has enriched its own the Amir Aadmi's condition, given fruits and benefits not to poor but itself. And instead of including the poor in the growth trajectory, it has included the Congress party and its workers. And through FDI in retail, it has pushed the Aam Aadmi into a deeper abyss while laying red carpet for Amir Aadmis, that is MNCs. How it is justified? Sir, Congress and its UPA government has so far costed the nation 7 lakh crores in last 8 years of the tenure of the center, through scams like 2G, mining, Commonwealth, coal, etc. It has costed the nation nearly 1 lakh crores every year. It is not only at the center, but even in Andhra Pradesh, Congress is hell-bent in making Swarna Andhra Pradesh to Bimaru state. We have given representations, memorandums to President, Prime Minister, Home Minister, Finance Minister, CBI, CVC, Enforcement Directorate about the corruption of Andhra Pradesh. We have also published books like Raja of Corruption.
No, I'm sorry, you cannot refer like the individual names who are not available here. Please, okay. It will be expunged then.
Good job. In AP, we have published books like Raja of Corruption, Mining Mafia, with full documentary evidence, but no action has been taken by government. It is only after courts interference action has been taken, which resulted in sending some of the ministers, bureaucrats, politicians and businessmen to jail. So the time has come to introspect whether we really need such a party to rule us. I would say no. It has gone now unfortunately. The retail trade in our country dates back to centuries. The relationship between Kirana shop and consumer in India is not just give and take, but it is intertwined in our cultural ethos. They are an extended family where we share our happiness and anguish. We get credit at the time of financial difficulty. We get hand loans when we are in need. We bargain when we buy something, and we have the liberty to ask them to procure a particular item for us. This is what retail trade in India is all about. And you cannot find even a single of these strife with MNCs in spite of knowing all this. The government wants to deliberately wipe out this relationship, which is detrimental to the country. Sir, this is a fight between giants like Walmart, Tesco, Carrefour, etc. On one side, and helpless farmers, 4 crore small retailers and about 4 crore people indirectly involved in the retail trade in the country on the other. And the present day action of the UPA government are clearly that government is in collusion and dancing to the tunes of these MNCs. But we are here to protect the interest of our farmers and prevent small shopkeepers from dissemination and extension. Walmart and others do not come here for charity. They came here to capture the Indian retail market, which is the size of $400 billion, and it is expected to raise almost tenfold by 2020 to nearly $4 trillion. The first claim of UPA is that removes middleman. Sir, any trader who mediates in distribution of goods between producer, that is farmer and consumer, is a middleman. Walmart is neither a producer nor a consumer. It is a middleman of gigantic proportion with unmatchable global financial muscle power and sourcing reach. So here the issue is not getting the middleman, but replacing small shops in the country with a gigantic one, and thereby creating foreign monopoly, which is not acceptable to us. Even if we consider the producer and consumer, the difference between farm price and consumer price is 6%. When Walmart enters the scene, farmer would get the share of 2%, but Walmart and its supply chain will corner the rest of the expense of fragmented, unorganized and petty Indian traders. Thirdly, government allowed FDI in single brand wholesale in 2007 with assurance that huge infrastructure will be created in the country by these giants. But if we look back, no infrastructure has been created by Walmart even after 5 years of its existence in the country. So the announcement that Walmart-like corporations will bring miracles in retail trade is nothing but a myth. Sir, the same has been corroborated and substantiated by Planning Commission's Working Group on Agriculture for 11th Plan and the 19th report of the Standing Committee on Food in 2006-2007. They have also named the lie that Walmart will link farm goods to its gate and make Indian farmers rich. Second claim of UPA is that MNC retail chains pose no threat to the people's kirana stores. But there is hardly any empirical evidence to support these tall and fragile claims. There is no qualitative and quantitative research carried out by any reputed, neutral and trustworthy organizations, but the impact of our own retail chains on the retail market in the country. The UPA also falsified that Walmart will link farm goods to its gate and make Indian farmers rich. The government is creating an impression that MNC retail chains will make available fresh farm produce from our farmers and take them into the urban consumer. Look at the experiences of other countries. It has given a different picture altogether. The experiences shows that big retail is all about marketing big processed and ultra-processed food, sugary and fizzy beverages, tobacco, chips, noodles, cookies, soft drinks, etc. And there can be very little that they will procure from poor farmers. Secondly, all this energy-dense food rich in salt, sugar and fat, a sure recipe for lifestyle diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, heart diseases and cancer. Let me substantiate. A study was conducted by leading research from Harvard, Cambridge, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and Public Health Foundation of India, using market data and consumption of unhealthy commodities during the past 15 years in 80 countries. The finding of study demolishes by myth that raising income and urbanization are in the main reasons for growing consumption of unhealthy food. Rather, it is FDI in food that is giving rise to consumption of unhealthy stuff even at much lower income levels and urbanization rates. In countries where you have lower level of FDI in food, consumption of unhealthy food products is low. For example, in Mexico, due to intake of unhealthy stuff, obesity in children gone up by 30%. So the point is how FDI in retail will impact our food environment, which has already undergone a tremendous change in retail and urban areas in the post-liberalization period. There is no doubt that what we eat every day is a matter of personal choice. But this choice cannot be exercised in vacuum. It is greatly influenced by the food environment like food stores, vegetable markets, food courts and street food. By allowing FDI in retail, the government is making structural changes in our food environment without studying the short-term and long-term impact on our dietary and food habits, which ultimately impact our health. And the important point is that MNCs do not store small-size packs as profit margins are low. Third claim of is FDI will create lots of jobs. It is highly unrealistic and baseless. Instead of creation of jobs, FDI will sweep away about 3.6 crore jobs in the country as retail chains do not employ large numbers. Let me explain, sir. The market is $400 billion and Walmart's turnover is around $420 billion. The Indian retail trade is presently employing more than 4 crore people. And if you see how many people are employed by Walmart globally, it is only
to interfere. Normally they don't say that you cannot read the entire speech. Try to confine it and then you can cultivate it in the next.
So first I will go to the American.
Many states. He's having 10 more pages.
One assumes that Walmart capture all the Indian retail market of $400 billion, which will employ much less than 21 lakh people.
I have to quote the rule, that's all.
But at the same time, it will wipe out 400 lakh employees from their current
job.
I don't understand.
Yes. Surely, sir. Surely.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. But at the same time, it will wipe out 400 lakh employees from their present jobs. So I don't understand on what basis the government is saying that it will create additional employment and opportunities. Secondly, international experiences also show that supermarkets invariably displace small retailers. Small retailers are virtually being wiped out in developed countries like US and Europe by these giants with the highest shopping density in the world, 11 shops per 1,000 people. We have 1.2 crore shops at present. They are employing over 4 crore people and 95% of these small shops run by self-employed people and family-run stores. There is no way these shops can compete with the Walmart, etc. And hence the closure of these shops and consequent loss of the crores of jobs in imminent and creation.
Try to come to the conclusion because the time is
Thirdly, retail giants with their strong financial muscle power will resort to predatory pricing. What they do is, first they wipe out local kirana shops and then create monopoly or oligopoly. Fourthly, large retailers are also known to be poor paymasters and routinely float and supplement labor laws. This recent strike by employees of the Walmart in California in September is a clear example to that. Fourth claim of UPA is only foreign players can create supply chain. It is nothing but bogus. I fail to understand it as to what role international retail players are playing in the building roads or generating power. They will not do that. They only create storage facilities, supply chains and cold chains. Can't we do this? We can very well do this. Just like we are building any other infrastructure such as roads, power plants, etc. Provided we have a positive vision and resolve to help the farmers and small shopkeepers. Fifth claim of, is India benefit like China? Comparison between India and China is totally misplaced. China is predominantly a manufacturing economy and is called factory of the world. It is the largest supplier to Walmart and other international majors. So, it is obviously cannot say no to these chains opening up their stores in China. And in spite of strong base manufacturing, China did not permit 51% FDI straight away. It allowed FDI in phases. And the most important point to be noted here that Walmart purchases 70% of its $400 billion products from China. So China is more benefited. India is not a manufacturing hub. We are not a factory of the world, but we are the back office of the world. So in contrast, we lose both manufacturing and service jobs, and in spite of these backdrops, we are permitting 51%. How it is justified? Hence, strongly I feel that this decision government taken in haste without doing its homework and assessing the consequences of the same. Secondly, we cannot afford to become America. It is now importing $60 billion worth Chinese goods through Walmart. Sir, America has reached such as a decimal shockingly unavailable state that it is even importing its national flag from China. America has imported its official uniform from London Olympics from China. What more examples do you want about the strong and widespread dominance of the Chinese products? In such scenario, do you really think that Walmart and others will allow our small stores survive, procure goods from our SMEs? The other point is, while Walmart and other MNCs are very eager to come to India, this can be better understood if one studies a little more about its operations in China, sir. Sir, Walmart has played its dominant role in China all these years, but through the competition from other foreign retail majors and Chinese retail majors, the share of Walmart in retail trade in China came down 7.8% to 7%. So Walmart realized that the time has come to close shops in China, and with resentment growing among its workers in US, it is searching for suitable alternative markets in the world and found India to be most suitable once considering its size and potential, and UPA has fallen in their trap.
Actually, we are having for Biden speech.
So far we are thinking UPA. Sir, so far we are thinking that UPA government is deaf and dumb, but the present move clearly shows that even blind. So government should just wake up its slumber and understand the reality that Walmart is neither in love with our country nor it is coming here for charity. It is coming here for business gains and destroy and decimate our unorganized small kirana stores through predatory means. Sir, Telugu Desam Party has always been saying that farmers should have the human face before every policy that we formulate, every step that we take. We should always keep in mind how they are helpful to the poorest and the poor in the country. Here I remember what Mahatma Gandhi once he said, I quote, "Recall the face of the poorest and weakest man you have seen, and ask yourself if the step you contemplate is going to be of any use to him." My question to the UPA government is whether it has ever recalled the face of the poorest and weakest man, or Aam Aadmi, and asked itself if FDI in retail is really going to help the poor, weak in the country in any manner. I don't think that it has.
Please try to conclude.
Is it not bound and duty